and welcome to this channel. Thank you so much for making time to be with us. My name is Hellen Muthoni, and today I'm sitting with Gabriel Nyamu, who is your life purpose coach, and he's here to tell us more about purpose. Karibu sana Bwana Gabriel.
Thank you, Hellen, for having me.
You're well?
You are very well.
Yes.
And I thank the Lord for this time.
It's a whole year since we had such a sitting.
Just imagine.
Yeah.
365 days out.
My good Lord.
Life is short. Life is short.
Indeed it is. We must live it purposefully.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because if you live life that is not purpose-led, I think we'll just be grinding the air.
Exactly.
And grinding the water.
Wow.
And that is very futile.
For the people who are looking at us and seeing us for the very first time, they might be wondering, what are you saying about last year? What are you saying? It's been a year. What have you guys been up to? Let's start from the beginning. Yes. Who is Gabriel? What exactly is purpose got to do with Gabriel? Is that your other name or what is it?
Exactly. Actually, I think I can call it the other name.
Okay.
You're very right. Gabriel Nyamu is a purpose coach, I think, as you've rightly put it. My life purpose is to transform people's mindset. So as people work in factories and companies and organizations, in banks and all that, my warehouse is mindset. That's why I work.
Awesome.
To transform people's mindset for generational redemptive purpose. What does that mean? Everybody has been born for a reason. And as I think there are people who have said quite often, that you celebrate two things. The day you were born,
yes,
and when you knew why.
Oh, wow.
You were born.
Okay.
That's the next actually. In fact, I think I glorify the second one than even the first one.
Yes.
Though, of course, you would not have discovered why you were born if you are not born. So what I do is to help people through coaching, to help them discover their life purpose. And this life purpose is God-given purpose. Because God, when He created, in fact, the Word of God tells us, He foreknew us before we were born. So He knew the intention, He knew the purpose in which every human being is supposed to fulfill on earth. But apparently, because of the nature of work, our priorities, especially that are changing dynamically in this capitalistic world, very rarely people think about why they were born. So I come to bridge that, and I feel that's my apostolic calling, to help people. Tell them, hey, pardon, don't just do things transactionally. Don't just survive.
Yes.
Life is not for living per se only.
Yeah.
Life
Yes.
is not just for living or lifing.
Yes.
It's not just for living and lifing. There is a purpose and a mandate that you have to discover, and that is God-given, and then you fulfill it throughout your life. So, and when I say that purpose is almost like my other name, that's what I mean, because if that is the reason why we were born, there's a very thin line between me, my identity, and the purpose. It should be the same thing.
Yes.
I know last time when you were here, we were talking about the background of purpose and what is happening contemporarily in the world. And I'm giving examples of during COVID, we were able to kind of do a bit of online search. And there were more than 1.5 billion Google searches people looking for. In fact, when you went just around June 2021,
yes,
at the heart of COVID,
yes,
people are busy when, things that we thought were life or mean life,
yes,
things like jobs, good relationships, wealth, money, and maybe businesses, they were all shaken. And when they were shaken, guess what people are looking for? When the humanity was reset, factory resetting,
yes,
people started searching
for
the meaning for their life. Why do they exist? Because if you discover why you exist, and then you live that, and fulfill that purpose, you have joy, you have fulfillment, and also you impact others.
Indeed.
Because we redeem two things. We impact people or the planet. But even the planet, God created the planet for who? It's for Himself and His people. And we are God's people.
Yes.
So that's the assignment I have, to help people have a certain mindset of purpose. Don't just start a business for the sake of doing a business. Why are you doing what you're doing? Don't just look for a job and say, I want to be hired as a manager, as a finance accountant, as a procurement manager. Why do you want to work? Because if it is not fulfill the purpose, then you will work. Then after you achieve, so what? In fact, maybe tell you a story of something happened after last year, because that's what I think you preempted.
Yes.
I met someone, a business person.
Yes.
Very successful. Running a company in more than 4 countries.
That must be me.
Definitely. Yes, amen. But it will not be you because there's a gap somewhere.
Oh, all right. That is not me.
Successful, are three measures. It was RA in 2023. I met this person. It was in a hotel somewhere.
Yes.
And I asked the person, okay, we were just having a casual talk. And he noted that I'm a Papa's coach, so he did know me more. So when he started expressing myself, what is Papa telling me more? When he started talking about it, they said, wait a minute, Gabriel, pause. He kind of paused for a moment, and he looked at me, first of all, for some time, gazed at me, and said, Gabriel, you know what? I am better off 10 years ago. Then I asked him, why? He told me 10 years ago, I had made enough money that even my children and some generations in future don't need to work.
Okay, that's awesome.
Imagine somebody telling you,
wow,
my children's children,
yes,
10 years ago, they don't have to look for an employment.
Yes.
I had made enough money. That's 10 years ago. Right now, I've actually grown maybe 10 times than that 10 years ago. So you can imagine now where the person is.
Yes.
Then he told me, but I think I get scared right now. I was more happier 10 years ago. Then I asked him, so tell me more. He told me 10 years ago, I had made enough money. And that time, I had less than 30 employees in the company. But we had grown the business now, it was profitable. Right now, I'm approaching 1,000 employees. Every day I wake up with some chills on my tummy. Why? When I had 30 people, I can shut down the company and start another. It's easy to dissolve a company.
Yes, and to start all over again.
How can you close 1,000 employees company?
Oh my word.
That's not something you wake up one day and say, I feel like I want to start now a real estate and I close this and I do another. No.
No.
So he told me now, we have grown. I don't know what to do with the growth I have right now.
Wow.
And in that, I spotted a vacuum.
Yes.
And that's a purpose vacuum. Because the question is, why did you start the business?
Exactly.
If you started the business to acquire wealth,
yes,
and all of us need wealth, when you acquire it, so what? And that's the vanity of humanity.
Wow.
So there are people craving, oh, God promote me, no, I want to become a CEO. Okay, you become a CEO today. Let me tell you,
yes,
2 years down the line after you become that CEO you are longing for,
yes,
you'll be actually feeling more empty again and say, so what was I looking for? Because it's all vanity if it's not aligned to your life assignment. So that's why the conversation allowed reminding people, hey, you didn't come just to this world just for the sake of.
Yes.
There is a higher calling. God has a purpose for you and you need to execute it. But who gives purpose? It's God himself. So you need to obey, discover it, and those are now where we do coaching, purpose coaching, help you just reflect on it. Then when you discover it, you need to obey and live it. Align your career to be purpose-led, and also align your business to be purpose-led.
All right, allow me to interject here and ask. So you believe that for you to find your purpose, you must be based on some kind of a foundation of faith? Or are you saying that if I'm an atheist or I don't believe there's a God, then I don't have a purpose?
Perfect. That's a very good conversation. And I get that quite often. Amazingly, I coach people even who are not believers.
Okay.
But out of the coaching experience, in fact, they come to discover by themselves. Now, anything you see around you,
yes,
whether it's this bottle of water or that camera or that wall unit and whatever you see around you is a product of design. It's a product of design.
Yes,
Meaning,
indeed.
at one time, it wasn't a physical material. It was an idea. Very intangible, because what is an idea? If somebody just thought of coming up with a mobile phone. We can't say mobile phone started existing when it was manufactured, not necessarily. There's a concept of design beyond just the physical existence. And whether you are an atheist or you don't believe in God, that's okay. But when you look at the nature itself, nature is caused. And that's why there's even some few exercises we will tell people to do, or kind of to reflect on. Why do you have eyes in front? There are things you've never thought about. Why do you have eyes in front?
So I can see ahead of me.
Exactly. But you know why? It's very biblically sound. Anything that has eye in front is a predator.
Oh, wow.
And that amplifies the concept of dominion, because man was created to dominate. And when you're dominating, you can't just be looking aside. Otherwise, you'll be having bystanders distracting your focus.
True.
And you see even the cat family. If you go to the animals, the lion and the jungle, the leopards, the cheetahs, they have eyes in
front.
Anything that has in front is a carnivore. It's more of a hunter. It's a predator. But a human being is more higher than that, because you have the soul, you have the spirit, you have the body, you have the mind and all that. Those are very complicated aspects of life that actually proves life is designed. So I'm just trying to, even if you use science itself,
Yes.
it points toward a convergence that whatever you see, it's a product of design.
All right.
Why do you have hands where we call it opposable thumb? This thumb is directly opposite the other fingers. It's for a grip. Just imagine you didn't have this, and of course, we know that people who are abled differently.
Yeah.
But ideally, in our nature, in an ideal situation, we should have an opposable thumb. And is that because we have to grab, we have to hold and get a grip? So you can't say that this was not designed for a purpose, even the heart themselves. The eyes themselves. The eye is a whole thing that you've unbundled the eye. It's so mysterious by itself, and even how, from a child when you're born and starting exposed to light and how the later they open the eyes and all that and the nerves coordinate, that's a mystery by itself. When you start looking at the footprint of creation, you see a design.
So
Now, when you design, it means there's a reason.
all right.
Exactly.
So my question is, why do I then have to discover this purpose? Why can't I just sit and it comes to me?
Exactly. Now, this is the thing. You only get this. I'll put it in a form of a phrase.
Okay.
Any created thing or order can only exist in its full potential if the original conditions that created it are fulfilled.
Say that
So the
again.
person who, any created thing or order, can only attain its maximum potential if the original conditions that created it are all fulfilled.
Fulfilled.
That's why a fish, even if you try to take it to another environment, which is not the original condition in which it came from water, if it's not fulfilled, it will never get fulfilled. In fact, as much as you create a cosmetic, artificial environment, it will struggle to survive in that environment. Now, let me take it back now to the purpose. The person who made this cup, he made it for a purpose. To be able to help us enjoy a drink, you can take tea and sip some coffee on it.
Yes.
Now, if you try to force this cup to be a swimming pool, I don't know what will happen.
Unless for a housefly.
You have to dismantle it actually
Oh,
and
yeah.
change the whole structure of
Yes.
it for it to accommodate another purpose.
True.
Now, if the way you are wired and designed and structured is to fulfill a certain mandate, let me tell you, your gifts, your temperaments, even your personality, things that sometimes we don't even love about ourselves, they are all made to fulfill a certain cause. When you deviate from that cause, there's a tendency not to get fulfilled. So do you want to get fulfillment in your life?
Oh yeah, totally.
Perfectly. That's one of the motivations that you can chase after the wind. But if you're fully distracted from your course, where you're supposed to be operating, you will never get fulfilled. And that's why right now, in the world, statistics are saying 1 in 4 people are predisposed to mental health. 87% of the entire working population are unhappy.
Oh
in short, they hate what they do every day.
Exactly.
Do you know why? They are working for survival. Now, when you work for survival, and I want to talk about humanity now. If humanity is reduced to survival, what is the difference between human being and any other living thing? That's the question. What's the difference between us and animals in the wilderness? People, they survive.
Yes.
Are you saying that in all the intelligence within the making of a human being was made for survival? That's completely a blasphemy, even to the creation itself.
Exactly.
So that's the reason why we have to be intentional in our living.
Wow. When we come back, we are going to ask Gabriel, was he born knowing all this, or did he just come by it, or what happened so that he can be a life purpose coach? When we come back. And now we are back and we have your life purpose coach. And I don't know why I keep calling you life purpose coach.
is still okay.
It's still the same.
It's still okay.
Gabriel Nyamu, who is with us today, and he needs to tell us, where did this story of purpose come from?
Exactly. I think I was also lost like many other people.
Can we say it's called a rat race?
You start there.
Yeah.
I think even when God was creating the universe,
Yes.
He started from a chaos.
Okay.
There was disorder, and then later He brought order through creation. And I think it's a mirror of our life. We don't necessarily start in a very right standing. Mostly we start in a confusion, because especially if you lack mentors, you don't have people who can guide you. You navigate your own life. So I also got myself into the same rat race. Brought up in the rural areas in Muranga. Went to the school, primary school in Muranga, secondary school. We are among the people who went to the same school, both nursery, primary, and secondary.
Yes.
In fact, it's only that we didn't have a university name of that
You
school.
would have gone
Probably
to the
could have
same
done.
co-
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. So I'm that typical guy. So I went there. But then, of course, I made it to the university. When I went to university, I really didn't like what they wanted me to study, because they wanted to study things that I didn't want. I loved science. So I wanted to study science, engineering, computer science, and all that. Then they called me to do some other, especially humanities. I really didn't get. So I was like any other graduate. So I struggled, tried to change faculties. I managed at least to switch to something close to what I really loved, and that's mathematics. So I graduated, but the first job I got was in a bank, in the human resource function.
Okay.
So when I went to the bank, I found people who had worked for many years there.
Yes.
And you are ambitious. I told my dad, wow, I've gotten a job. I'm only going to work 5 years.
Yes.
I want to be self-employed. That was the thinking. Yes. That's the far I could dream. I want
Yes.
to become my own boss.
Yes.
But I think I was a bit arrogant when I look at it later. I think I was just trying to say, why should I be employed? So I promised to work 5 years. I ended up working for 13 years.
Whoa, what happened?
Now, and it's a long story.
Okay.
But when I was working, in my early stage of my work, the bank was going through a retrenchment. Retrenchment is where you release people.
Yes.
People who had worked for 20 years, even 30 years. And these people, because that time I was posted in a place where I do terminal benefits. I was calculating terminal benefits.
Yes.
That is your last pay slip before you leave an organization. So because I was in that section, I happened to have interacted with almost all the people who were exiting. And there were 100 plus.
Where?
So over 97 of them, at least either we had a phone call or they sat on my desk because of the terminal benefits.
Yes.
But when I look at the way we were interacting with them, 94 out of around 97, who I remember very well, were all unhappy. So I was asking myself, why are all these people bitter? It's like they are going home, yes, and they have a package, and banks will give you a very nice package.
Oh, yes.
Enough to sustain you out there,
Okay.
Good figures, and some of them will be discounted, the loans, you're told the loan, you discount you a certain percentage, 40%, very nice lucrative package.
Yes.
But yet, they had bitterness. Some of them were feeling unfulfilled. And I remember two of them, one of them who actually changed my thinking. Because she was already, she had worked for 20 plus years. And she told me, Gabriel, I feel a bit empty. Then I wrote the lady. Now, as HR, sometimes we have more information about employees because we access some of the information.
Exactly.
I knew this lady is an empty nest. All the children had finished school. They're actually working. So I knew that from the records.
Yes.
So all children are working.
Yes.
You are taking home some good figures. And that's more than 16 years ago.
Ooh.
You're taking home good figures
Yes.
of amount of money. You have built in among the best estates in Nairobi. You're driving a good car,
Yes.
which is not on loan because she had cleared most of the loans. And then she's saying she feel a bit empty. So I felt, what is this empty that you're feeling? Yet here I'm a 3-year-old employee who also have an ambition. And even promised my dad,
Yes.
I'm working 5 years.
Yes.
This person have worked 20 plus years, is feeling empty. I'm like, wait a minute, am I confused?
What is it for?
What is
then?
it for?
Yes.
You have good car, you have nice house in a best estate, your children have studied, some of them have studied in, abroad, they're even working. Why are you feeling empty? You have even, you are hard road. You kind of albos, by yourself. You should go and rest and, enjoy life.
Exactly.
That was back in 2017, 18 is the first time 2007 and 2008, not 17, 2007, 2008 is when I started questioning myself. Will I come and work here and also go home in the same discontent and kind of unfulfillment? And that's when I started searching. Now, if you're looking for somebody who is searching for something,
Yes.
like the deer pattern for the water,
Yes, yes.
I started seeking. What is this thing that makes somebody feel empty, yet you have all the things that people would consider you are successful? You should be somebody in a good standing in a society. it took me almost 5 years to discover myself. But I started looking for materials, but I can always tell people, for me, the Bible helps a lot. Because I started studying the Bible and trying to connect with the Bible and what is it talking about people. And God had a mission for every one of the biblical characters we study. And it's in that God started revealing to me. Of course, I started other materials that are written by people around purpose. But the Bible for me was more profound. Then I discovered, wow, Ephesians 3:10, 3:20. That's about that we are God's masterpiece. Created in Christ Jesus to do what? To do good works that He predestined for us. Then I started saying, okay, what is these good works that He predestined? So there's work.
Yes.
So I started, I love research and I like expounding things.
Yes.
So I will read a scripture, but I don't just settle. I don't just memorize. I started questioning, what is these good works then? So later, of course, now I can be able to tell this is actually God's redemptive purpose that He has for everybody. Because we are an extension of His kingdom, and you want to fulfill His kingdom through people. In the book of Isaiah, I think 43, it talks about that we are a display of God's spreader. So if God wants to dispense hope, He uses somebody.
Yes.
If you want to show love, how do you explain love? It's through other people.
True.
Because it's people who feel compassionate about them. That's why even He put things like feeling emotions. Somehow they help us express God's love. As I come to grieve with you, I come to encourage you.
Yes.
I'm dispensing God's nature, and that becomes a replica, an image of God to you. Now, the challenge is most of the times we think it's just a human factor.
Yes.
Just to have emotions. So it's me.
Yes.
Without having an expression that this is actually God expressing Himself through you. Now, when you're intentional, you're able actually to do it much more. That's how my life was. So it was kind of more confusing in the beginning. But when I discovered now, I started now mirroring, kind of being intentional and mirroring my purpose in whatever I did. I didn't resign my work immediately. I continued being employed, even for another extended, almost double the 5 years I was talking about.
Yes.
I worked for 13 years in the corporate space. But the beauty is, my last phase of, after 5 years, which was almost like my 7th year, after discovering my purpose, my life after discovering was so sweet than all the other previous years combined.
Whoa.
Because that time I didn't require a boss. And I usually tell even organizations, you want employees to be more productive, let them discover their purpose. Let me tell you, they are going to be self-driven, self-motivated. They don't have to wait for an alarm to wake them up. And they hate coming on Monday. They call it Monday blues.
Yes.
And then thank God it's Friday. They will actually discard all those things. For me, I looked forward to wake up on Monday to go and serve people. But so what I did, and I can honestly say, when I discovered the purpose, I started actually using my employer as my sponsor for my purpose. Because I changed the mindset. I'm not employed.
Yes.
I'm only partnering with the employer, but I'm also the employer has created for me a space to expedite my mandate. So I'm not relying on the job description and the contract that I had.
No.
That was no longer relevant to me.
Yes.
I could work without a contract now. Because I've discovered I have and the employer is giving me this opportunity and environment to kind of execute my purpose. Now it's no longer an employee. I call them an impact partner. I became an impact partner. Through that, my last few years of employment were so joyous. I got fulfilled. By the time I was now determining that I want to go do this full time, which now happened later, I knew exactly what I'm going to do.
So if you are this fulfilled in your job, what is the need then to walk out? There's somebody who's watching, maybe they're not feeling as fulfilled as you are. And they feel, as much as I want to say I'm partnering with my boss, I don't feel like I want to be a partner with this. I feel this is not my life. But then the fear of unknown, I'm leaving this to do what? Or how will my life be? How will I, there's that paycheck at the end of the month. So how do you overcome that? Maybe for you, you had time to plan yourself to exit. So maybe you can also tell us about that.
Perfect. I love quoting the Bible. In Matthew, chapter 6, Christ actually Himself said, you should not worry what to eat, drink, clothe. I usually tell people what Christ is saying there. Don't worry about survival. As I said in the beginning, if your life is around surviving, paying bills, you have 3 realms. We call them the 3 realms, dimensions of life. There is the survival, which is the outermost. And actually, it's where most people get a job to survive.
True.
Pay rent, buy
Take
food.
a child to school.
Exactly. That's purely survival. And there's no difference between you and any other, even a living animal. They're surviving. They are hunting to survive.
Wow.
The second layer is called productive layer and engagement layer, where you want to account for time. So you want to feel, today I was engaged. It may not be purposeful, but I feel I have done a lot. So you become a busybody.
Yes.
Now it's not going but now you just want to feel I'm engaged.
Yes.
The inner layer, which is where people don't reach, is now where it's a focus around, am I giving a redemptive impact? Am I impacting the space? And that's where now the purpose comes in. So people who are fearing mostly is because of the survival. And because there are some roles we've been taught in the philosophy of the world about things like Maslow hierarchy of needs. So we are told we have these 5 layers of needs. The first layer are basic needs, and then from there physiological needs.
Yes.
It's like you say factorize way later. That is wrong mindset.
Wow.
Because it is like waiting to reach 50, 60 years is when you start living life. That's a lie of the devil.
Yes, it is.
Why should you not start being self-actualized in 15 years as a teenager? Why not? Because you have the full potential hidden in you. It's a matter of discovering and leverage. So you can be self-actualized in 20 years, 30 years. And the earlier the better, so that you have more time to impact the world. Now, I want to talk about something that made me more easy to kind of move out. And I don't tell people to move out to their jobs, from their jobs. First of all, don't move out if at all your time is over. In terms of where you're very clear that I have already executed my mandate fully and I have no debt.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Don't move out. First of all, if you're employed, use the employer as a, for lack of a better word,
yes,
experimental ground to test yourself there. Okay?
Yes. Don't worry, your employer is not watching.
Exactly. So once it works, you can now go out and scale. And that's what happened for me. I use the employer as my, a bridge to test myself. I started doing my leadership program when I was still employed, and I could use my employees, my managers, as lack of a better word again, guinea pigs.
Don't worry,
but it was a good way. Okay? But because of that, it gave me confidence. Number 2, it established convictions in me. Now, never try to do something you don't have convictions about. Because you are going to drop it off. That's why we tell people, don't follow passion. And I will look so controversial.
Yes.
Don't follow passion. Passion is not conviction.
What?
Passion is temporal drive and energy and a motivation to do something. And whatever you're passionate today, tomorrow changes. Now you keep on like being a grasshopper, hopping from one place to another, because passion keeps changing. What you loved 10 years ago, you no longer love it.
True.
So if you follow passion, passion does not give you direction. Only purpose does. Now purpose is established through convictions. Remember, purpose is given by God, the Creator Himself.
Yes, sir.
So it is for you to discover, and you discover through faith and convictions, literally. Because God really have to reveal it to you. As much as we do purpose coaching, I can't come and tell you this is your purpose. And I don't do that. And even our purpose coaches, we don't do that. We can only give you reflective exercises and some process that actually helps you connect. But it's you to actually discover it. Because the moment I tell you, hey, Helen, your purpose is encouraging children. Then if you go to start encouraging children, then you get challenges. You'll be saying, it's Gabriel who told me.
I'll keep referring to you.
Yeah. But if you have convictions, the convictions keep you there. So when you have something that you're doing that you don't have convictions, every slight wind that blows, it will tip you off. And that's what I find people trying to jump from one either career or business to another, and it's because of lack of convictions. So for you to establish purpose, it is laid down on convictions. Of course, conviction is what? Convictions is knowledge of the truth that activates you. So I'm trying to define the terms there. So the knowledge of truth that activates you, actually, that's what forms conviction. It's something seated within your spiritual realm that actually activates you. Meaning, it wakes you up, it eats you until you become the purpose. Now, purpose is about the becoming, not the doing. So convictions eat you like yeast, the way the yeast eats the dough.
Yes.
And then you become. And that's why we say, Jesus himself, he didn't bring salvation. As much as he's our savior, he never brought salvation. What did he do? He became the salvation. That's why he's saying, I am the way. He didn't say, I have brought the way.
No.
That's the difference. Purpose is about becoming, not doing.
Yes.
So Nelson Mandela never brought liberation. He never brought. He became the liberation.
Oh, wow.
If you're meant to encourage people, you become the encouragement.
Yes.
If you're meant to teach people, you become the wisdom so that you dispense from a place of abundance and of overflow. So you have to become before you do. Now, people mostly will follow the doing part and they neglect the becoming. So purpose is more about the being.
Now, when we come back, after we take a cup of tea, you're going to tell us how you became and how was your journey after the break. And we are back. Bado tunaendelea na story ya Gabriel and we need to hear so when did he exactly pull the plug and got out of the employment? Because we say there are so many of us who want to do that, but you're afraid, you don't know about tomorrow, and you need to know and to be assured that you have something to eat for you and your family. So when did you do that, and what were the steps that you took when, headed to that direction?
Exactly. That's a very common challenge for many people. Transition is never easy.
Oh yeah.
Because it involves, first of all, you have to surrender yourself to the change you're adapting to. Surrender yourself fully to the change. That means there are things that you have to deny yourself. There are things that you have to kind of change your mindset and the way of thinking. Now on my side, I remember this time and I was out of the country and I had already started a side hustle of almost what I wanted to do, because when I discovered the purpose, of course, like any other person, you register a company, which is a side hustle to help you do what you're supposed to do. I registered a consultancy firm because I knew I'm going to coaching and training and consultancy. I knew that.
Yes.
So I registered a side hustle. And I just said, for the first 4 years of the side hustle, I'm employed, so I used to work in the evenings.
Okay.
Because now, 8 to 5, I have to give my employer, and mind you, I was in HR. So you are a role model.
Yes.
And that time now I was registering, I was already in management now. I'm no longer a junior.
No.
I was a senior person.
Yes.
So I'm in management, so I have to leave the talk. Then I have this side hustle here which is demanding me. So I used to work right in the evening. So it's after 5, I'll pass through, I had an office somewhere in Nairobi, I'll go to the downtown, I'll go to the office. I had hired interns, people who used to work full-time them.
Yes.
So I had 3 interns who are working full-time. Me, I'm permanent elsewhere full-time. But this is a side hustle. And I usually say...
Wait, you're funding somebody else's dream and employed somebody else to look after your dream.
Definitely. And that's what many of us do.
Oh, wow.
Because if at all whatever you're doing as a purpose is a part-time, you're not yet doing that's not still purpose land living. It's a side hustle. And you never give it the best. So I was doing that. Then one day, I remember I was out of the country. One of the leading company in Kenya, could be actually the leading, we had bidded some for assignment to do some consultancy work. And we kind of had moved a lot. And I had somebody who was telling me, Gabriel, by the way, your proposal was very strong. Then I happened to have free out of the country, of course, to execute my full-time employer's assignment. When out of the country, this company called me because I'm the one who had done the proposal. And I had defended the proposal at a certain point. Now, they called me. And they told me, Gabriel, you need to come. The management, we are in the last stage of that, almost to be given. If we won that last stage, we got the assignment. And it was a nice package. I can assure you that.
Yes.
It's actually, I don't think, I've done maybe 1 or 2 such assignments, but it was a big assignment. Among probably the leading company in Kenya. So when I was somewhere, way out of the country.
Yes.
So I told them, you can't change the date because I was to be there for 2 weeks. They told me, no. So you have to send somebody. Remember I told you I had some part-timers. I had some full-time interns who don't even know about the vision per se. I'm still coaching them. I had to send one of them to go and represent me. Now you can imagine, somebody who is even not yet fully there, they're still under coaching, then they are the ones going to present me.
Oh my
And they went. In fact, I usually respect, because that lady was good. Because even to get the confidence at her level, I congratulated her. Do you know she went and defended the proposal? Yes. But we didn't get the job. Why? In the interview, of course, you can imagine there are some technical questions that only an experienced person who understands how corporate work will have answered that question. But me, I'm very busy far away. waiting somebody else to pursue my purpose. It's like the way Moses was telling God, me, no, send somebody else.
Yes.
But this is you, that's why you are born and we redeemed you from the river to pursue it. Then you think of somebody else. That's what we are doing, and that's what most of the people do. Now, we lost the opportunity. Apparently, I had a contact there. Somebody told me, Gabriel, by the way, your proposal was very strong. You only missed this last stage. Now, let me tell you what happened in my mind.
Yes.
I was asking myself, how can somebody else be trusting my vision and my mission that they are willing to work for me full time? Me, I'm the founder. I am working somewhere. No, I could not reconcile. I felt something I call holy anger.
Yes.
Horribly angry. I was horribly angry. I felt so mad.
Yes.
How can somebody else trust the thing I have founded that for them, that's their life?
Yes.
They are waking up 8 to 5. Me, I'm the founder. I'm nowhere. And I'm not involved completely. You know, when I came back from that country, when I came back, I was so mad. And I can assure you, 4 months did not end without quitting. I left almost around that period.
Yes.
Because and that's why I talk about convictions. My convictions were more sedimented. I felt, wait a minute, I have to obey. Then I discovered I was selfish. Why? I think I was thinking of other things. You know, I'm in the career under. I could have become the next director. I had a good trajectory of career. I didn't have any issue with my employer, even today, who is actually my client now today. So I kind of was feeling more selfish of, no, let me still stick here. And I was in a comfort zone. You have a lot of medical covers. You know, in fact, you cannot exhaust those covers. Yes. They are humongous in millions. And benefits, you could take any loan you want, you know. But here I'm saying, I go out there where you have no control anybody. You have no agreement for any source of earning.
No.
I dreaded that time. But my convictions by that time, because of actually that's just one incident. There are so many others. Yes. Because of that, my convictions kept on being built one account at a time. Mm-hmm. So by the time now I'm making a decision to move, I was like a bulletproof.
Yes.
And let me tell you what, there are people who say, oh, you want to transition, save for 1 year. Have savings that can carry you 1 year, such that if you don't get any invoice, you can sustain your life. Let me tell you, I didn't have even 2 months savings.
What?
Mine was faith. And I'll tell you a story, Helen.
Yes.
I have friends who we almost quit at the same time. They were even more senior than me in other different organizations. They were earning maybe 10 times or whatever than me. One of them told me, Gabriel, I have saved for 1 year. Whole 1 year, maybe several millions.
Yes.
You've kept idle money.
Yes, somewhere.
To make you sustain your life when you leave. Some of them went back to employment less than 1 year. Me, I left with no much, and I am not telling people to copy me, no. But what I want to put here is follow convictions, not clarity. Mm-hmm. You may think you have a pot. That's not the key. In fact, there's no enough amount of money secure to give you safety. Nothing. But the moment you step into the purpose zone, let me tell you what. If that was what God meant you to do, He'll provide for it. Because purpose is provided for. You discover actually even your gifts. Even relationships that God brings around you, they are meant to fulfill. Helen, you are not in my life for just being there.
No.
No. Any relationship you attract in your life, most likely, God is trying to connect dots. These people are supposed to be part of your purpose team, delivery team, purpose delivery team.
Yes.
But most of the time, we are not conscious, and therefore we lose even opportunities. So that fear somebody has, if at all you overcome the fear with convictions and faith, and then you obey. Why today our ambassadors all over the world sent by our government, who provide for those ambassadors?
The country, the government.
In fact, US embassy here in Kenya is not Kenya. It's like US in Kenya.
Yes.
Israel embassy in Kenya is not Israel. It's not Kenya, sorry.
Yes.
It's Israel, because the person who sent you, the authority that sent you, provide for you. True. These guys don't have to worry. In fact, when you become an ambassador, it's like you're told you're no longer a normal citizen.
It's true,
you don't pursue your interest anymore.
No.
It's like even your will is taken over.
Yes.
You can only speak on behalf of
the country.
That's what we do. God has sent us in this earth as His ambassadors.
Wow.
Why would He not provide for us? But because of our deviance and the will we have, we deviate because we want to do our own way, not God's way. That's why I say, for me, the author of our life is God, and you need to follow God's convictions.
Yes.
Because the moment you obey, it's an act of obedience. When you obey, God aligns everything else.
Now,
yes.
yes.
Good ahead. So now it's over 8 years since I left employment, and I've seen God provide in divine ways. It doesn't mean that it's kind of easy. No. But I've never had.
There, about the easy bit.
Yes.
There's a friend of mine I met recently, and he told me he also left employment because he felt led to build something, an empire or something. Or he thought when he was leaving employment, he felt, I need to build something. I don't know exactly what it is, but I need to go and build something. But unfortunately, in the process of walking out, he also didn't have a good footing and even lost his family because now he's not able to provide, and things went upside down horribly. But right now, like 3 years down the line, he has 7 companies that are doing very well. But unfortunately, his family is not yet back. So does it mean there's a price you have to pay when you get out, or how do you plan, especially for those who are married and who have children and they have responsibility? You know, like for me, Helen, I'll just walk because it's just my mouth. But what about those people who have a family to feed?
Agree. This is something that God is not a God of confusion. God is a God of order.
Yes.
And if you follow him, even the partner that God will kind of make you, join with.
Yes.
We are told, of course, that our spouses, especially wife, they are suitable helpers. What do they help? That's a question. They help you execute your mandate. Simple. Yes. And you'll fight carefully. If you really obey God, because again, human beings are also deviant and we are disobedient, we are rebels.
Yes.
But if truly free you obey God, everything else will align, including your relationships. For those who are married, of course, if at all you're already in it, there's a way God still through prayer and just fellowship and having good communication with your spouse, you can actually align, and the spouse, especially the wife, will end up kind of, you don't swallow your wife. They have their own purpose.
Yes.
But you find there's a way God aligns such that there's a reinforcement. So they are kind of complementing each other.
Yes.
The challenge is on obedience. Because again, if you're selfish, you can never serve any purpose. If you're selfish. Because selfishness is about me. And that's what I talked about. If it's a passion is very selfish.
Yes.
If you're doing something, if you check where the people they are saying, I'm doing what I love. You're doing what you love. It doesn't necessarily mean that's the purpose. Because what you love could be just some selfish interest to fulfill your own ego. Look at the Bible.
Yes.
Who did what they love?
Wow.
Did Moses love redeeming children?
Oh, he didn't. He actually negotiated with God. He didn't want to go.
Let me tell you, even Christ himself was saying, remove this cup. It's too heavy. Yet he knew very well I came to die. I came to redeem.
Yes.
It's not about love. But let me tell you where passion comes. Passion comes through execution and visioning. When you start doing, and then you have a vision about it, when you see the beauty of the impact you're making, passion automatically comes in. Wow. So right back to your question.
Yes.
That person who probably, they find themselves maybe in a relationship where the spouse is not supporting. I think for me that would say it's more of a, have candid conversations. Make yourself, first of all, you are obeying your purpose, not necessarily just your passion. But have a clear dialogue and conversation. And the reason why. Let me tell you one thing. In fact, it is dangerous, Helen, for any lady who is listening to us. It is dangerous for ladies to be married by a purposeless man. Because there's nothing to help them.
Wow.
It's hot here. If you're married to a man who does not know their purpose, they are surviving. You lady, that will be very frustrating for you. But when you're married to a man who is living for a cause, let me tell you this, so in fact you feel covered. You feel a bit of sense of direction. Because a man provides the direction and the vision for the family. That's it. So if a man is directionless, then what is the woman helping you achieve? So that's where you lack that convergence.
Exactly.
And you struggle and strive in that relationship.
All right. Wow. I think we have exhausted that. But in case you're wondering and you want more gist on this, you can definitely get hold of Gabriel. He has all the social media handles that you can actually DM him through. But I want him to tell us about something he's working on after we come back after the break. And here on this amazing sitting room where we are having a talk with Gabriel and he's telling us about purpose, it's an amazing discussion which is an eye-opener for everyone. So please make sure you share this broadcast to everyone you know so that it can be of help to so many, just like it's of help to us. Gabriel, we talked about social media handles. Do you mind telling us, or we are going to put them on the scroll here?
Definitely they are going to be there.
Yes.
They're going to circulate, but all the places you go, Gabriel Nyamu, your purpose coach.
Kabisa.
Very consistent.
Thank you so much. Now, you found your purpose. You jumped out of the boat of employment. Now you're living your best life. You're enjoying it. You wish you made that decision early on, but you're enjoying, you're feeling you're fulfilled every day.
Exactly.
So is that it only? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Now, purpose is very progressive because it's like a journey. It's like a marathon you have to run. In fact, purpose is lifetime.
Oh.
One of the things that we do in purpose is lifetime, meaning there's no retirement. If whatever you're doing has a retirement, that's not purpose. If anything you're doing, you think that's your purpose and yet it has a retirement, that's not. Because purpose is attached to life. It's a lifetime thing.
Yes.
You only retire to it, and that's not retirement. You exit on it or kind of, get consummated when your life ends. And in fact, still, when you are no longer existing physically, the impact you made should actually outlive you. That's why even Jesus, we feel Jesus' impact even today. Yet 2,000 years ago, he died.
Wow.
Why? Because we feel Nelson Mandela today.
Yes.
Yet he died a decade or plus ago.
True.
We feel Professor Gary Muthoni today. Because purpose mostly transcends your lifetime. So it is even going beyond life. Now, so what I've done is that over a period of time now, because now I'm no longer struggling to discover my purpose, is now to execute it. So in the execution, it's more around how do I empower other people, because that's my space now. And I am called in an apostolic way to establish purpose movement globally, generally. And what I have done is that, of course, I've started initiatives. One, I had to start by coaching people. So I started learning some purpose coaching series.
Yes.
I started with 2 weeks. I went to a 5-week series. Now I have a 10-week series.
Ooh.
So, and I developed a curriculum, which I've tried it out and I've coached hundreds and hundreds of people who have graduated. So I'll take them through. And I have a lot of success stories of people who have actually been able to make radical decisions in their life.
Yes.
And as I said in the beginning, it doesn't mean that you have to leave your current employer. No.
No.
But even when you continue working there, you have a changed mindset. But there are those who have daringly kind of even made a step of faith and started now positioning themselves. They find where they are is toxic, doesn't allow them to expedite their purpose, and they make decisions to move elsewhere. The people who have even stopped businesses they were doing. I think I gave an example, and I keep talking about it, of the gentleman who changed one of my guys who changed my thinking about business, who have a boutique, and when I went to his boutique, he told me, Gabriel, I have nothing to sell to you. Then I asked him, what do you mean? Then he told me, because I don't sell clothes. Yet I can see thousands of suits in his boutique. Then when I asked him, he told me, I don't sell suits. That's transactional. I dress people. So dressing people is purpose-led. Selling clothes is transactional. But you have two people doing the same business, having the same stock. But one mindset is, I dress people. Now, when you're dressing people, what do? You take care of them. You make sure at least it is fit for purpose. If you go there to fit your dress, it must fit to purpose, because I care how you look. It's not just about
the
you
money.
exchanging and the money. That's transactional.
Yes.
And I have learned a lot from that gentleman. So what I have done now, I have developed a whole series around purpose-led coaching. People who are in business, I have a program for purpose-led businesses, which is something I call the 5G entrepreneur. We maybe talk about it in another session. A 5G entrepreneur is a purpose-led entrepreneur. Those 5Gs are acronyms. So I help people now position, whether you're in career right now, and also in leadership. I have a program called Purpose-Led Leader. So you become a purpose-led leader. And it's a complete game changer. Let me tell you, Hellen, what is happening in leadership, especially currently. We've been training people how to lead. You go to these business schools and academies, and they have nice master classes, how to lead. Can I tell you? That's where the problem is.
Oh, no.
Because we have leaders who become like the doctor, who you go to visit, a doctor tells you, Hellen, stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
But themselves, they go on the balcony and start smoking. Meaning, they're telling you to stop smoking, but it means whatever they're telling you is not truth to them first.
Yes.
Because they are not convicted by the same truth, so that themselves are modeling the truth they are telling you. And so you have a problem. So we've been telling people how to lead. So it's like a checklist. If you want to lead, 1, 2, these 10 steps. That's how. But we are not sensitizing people on the becoming a leader. When you become a leader, you will lead. As I said, becoming precedes doing. So we've been training people on the doing side, but you've neglected the becoming side. So the programs you run are very transformational because they change the version of yourself first.
Yes.
Because when you become, you will do.
Now, please, Gabriel, give us more like an overview of how the steps that I, just maybe 3 of the ones that I can take to actually get to know my life purpose, please.
That's a whole 10 weeks conversation to compress it.
Give us pointers.
But I'll tell you, if you can answer the following questions.
Yes.
And that may take you even 5 years.
To answer the 5 questions.
It can take you 5 years to do it. However, it can take even a burning bush experience, meaning one encounter.
Wow.
So it can, in short, I mean, it can take one encounter,
Yes.
even 1 day or 1 hour or whatever, because it's God who give you. But you can be able to answer the following questions. Then you're almost close to discovering your purpose. Number 1,
yes,
a conviction of a need in people or the planet that you feel burdened to solve. So you are a solution. That's a one indicator.
Yes.
And that's a very heavy question. So you didn't come to solve everyone's problem. Even Jesus never died for everybody. He said, for whosoever believes. So it's a qualification. Hellen, you are not called to save the whole world. How do you save 7.8 billion people as Hellen? I've seen people trying to helter-skelter, trying to do everything. No, you are called for a specific need. So that's a need. So, but do you have convictions on a need in people or planet in which you have a burden to fulfill? Number 2 is the niche. The niche now is a subset of the world in which that's what you're called for. There are people who are just called to redeem drunkards.
Yeah.
And they find themselves, when I go somewhere and I get people who are drunkard, in fact, they become buddies and I connect them easily. The people who gravitate to people who are financially challenged.
True.
Because you're supposed to redeem them financially.
Yes.
So God will make sure that even people, the way they are attracted to you, it's mostly, and you usually tell people here, people are never attracted to you as Hellen. It is what is in you. But we usually mistake. And that's why the ego start rising. If you discover that why people are connected to you is actually not you. It's actually something in you that they are tapping. But sometimes we chase them away. We call that the niche. You need to identify your niche. Then now the heaviest questions after that, which are the next 3, is you have got the need and the niche.
Yes.
The third question is, how do you impact them? What is the active ingredient that is in you that is impacting them? I met a lady who told me in one of the purpose coaching to me, Gabriel, you know what? I had thought it's my public speaking that transform people. I discovered is actually radiating confidence and courage only. Even if I go to the stage and I just do anything, even I speak nonsense, people feel empowered. Yet when I look at what I shared, I'm like, this was not very revolutionary. But God has put in me a grace of radiating. I can make somebody feel in fear to get, stand up. That's a redemptive grace.
Yes.
So you need to ask yourself, when people are saying, hey, Hellen, you bless me, ask them another question then. Hey, how did I impact you? You discover there is something you dispense. It's like a transaction. You dispense something in them and they tap it. And that's what transforms them. When you take medicine, the whole medicine is not useful. There's something you call a carrier, but inside the medicine there's something you call active ingredient. That is actually how you impact them. But it takes time to discover that.
Yes.
Now the fourth question is usually, how do you transform them? Yes, but how do you impact them? But then how do they change and transform themselves now? Their version.
Yes.
How do they change and transform? Like for me, it's very clear. Whenever I interact with people, I make them see things differently. And it's so natural. Whether I'm in a boardroom discussing strategy, whether I'm in a consultancy project, there's always a very consistent. People will always tell me, you made us see things differently. That's how I transform them. Because I never told you, my garage is mind. But not everybody is called to operate in the mind. There's a doctor who is operating the nose.
The nose, yes.
Me, I'm called for the mind.
Yes.
So every time, even when I'm not intentional, somebody will still tell me, hey, Gabriel, what have you said? It has. And sometimes I'm even casual. Sometimes I even become casual.
Yes.
Even in my casualest way of talk, somebody will always tell me, I'm not seeing it that way.
Yes.
Because that's how I transform them. Then the last fifth question is
yes.
how to multiply that impact. Now, we call it a purpose map. Then people do vision board. We have something called purpose board. But now I'm kind of almost preempting how we do the real purpose. It's a whole area. That can take many years. But then on the other side, let me just give some few indicators.
Yes, please.
Which are very easy to, for now. That may be more complicated. But now easy indicators. Hellen, things that gives you holy anger, most of the times are whispers towards your purpose. You're watching news and you find children being molested and you feel something stirred up. That stirring up is something in you that is saying, I am a solution. It could be a whisper and it might manifest as form of, why are we having corruption? And have a very heavy burden on you that even you can lose sleep. And it is very consistent. It doesn't happen once. You find it's like a shadow that follows you everywhere. If you journal those accounts, how many times have you felt horribly angry and what happened? Then try to unpeel the onion. You always discover a pattern there. Number 2, have you ever gone home in the evening and felt like, God, you can even take my life today? Then question, what did I do that day? Then go another one layer. From what did I do that day? Go another layer. What was my role in what I did and how I engaged that, whatever you did? Maybe it's an event you planned. And the evening you feel like, God, I have served you now, and whatever I did today, you can even take me today. My life can catch up. We call it unexplainable fulfillment. If you journal those, and they are like encounters, because God is a very faithful God. They are always very uncomplicated encounters that keep signaling, but mostly we don't journal them anywhere. Number 3, where you utilize all your gifts in one scoop.
Whoa.
Now I tell people, warning, gifts gives you potential. Potential is not purpose. Gifts are not purpose. Gifts are the fundraising and resources God has bestowed in you naturally to implement purpose. It's like a fundraiser. God is a sponsor. He has sponsored the purpose in you through gifts. So but the gift have no direction. You can misuse the gift. That's why God will give you the gift of art, creativity, music, but you can choose to sing whatever you want. You can sing secular, you can sing whatever. Because gifts are not directional, but purpose is directional. So, but if you want to know whether what you're doing is purpose-led, I usually send people some link, and maybe I can share the links in my socials. There's an assessment you usually do when you're doing our coaching, where you do an assessment. It's an online assessment. You fill some questions. It gives you a certain profile of your top 5 gifts. Now, it is so consistent in all the places I have gone. Those top 5, if you're not utilizing them in what you're doing currently, you are not doing your purpose. Because why would God give you a gift that is supposed to be idle and not utilized?
Yes.
It's only when you do your purpose. Let me tell you something that also this can shock you. I did an inventory myself, and it's something I do when I'm doing purpose coaching. I tell people, I give a worksheet. I tell you, journal for me all the things you can do. Do you know, Hellen, how many things I can do myself as Gabriel?
How many?
67.
What do you mean?
Because when God says we are fearfully and not afraid,
yes.
It means so.
Yes.
You can do anything.
Yes.
Almost anything. I have a list. I can do 67 and I can do them well. I don't mean just doing attempting.
No.
I can play guitar perfectly. I have played in bands. I can play keyboard perfectly. I have 67. Question is,
yes,
what should I do then?
Wow.
Can I do 67? My life, your life is how many years honestly to do 67? Now, many people are lost because the potential is not purpose, but it has an indicator of purpose if the entire potential is kind of all collapsed in purpose. When I discover my purpose, my top 5 gifts are all utilized 100%. Now, the warning is that if you're not doing your purpose, do you know what happens? Mm-hmm. Part of your gift, you have to initiate a side hustle for them. Now you see why I was telling you about side hustle.
Yes.
If what you're doing is not purpose-led, you'll discover you have a main hustle, but because there's some gifts you have here, especially top 3, top 4, they are telling you, hey, you have not given me life. You start looking for some 2 other aside souls to give those gifts a life. Then now there's a law of focus.
Yes.
That time you violate a row of focus, because what you feed and focus grows. You'll never grow when you have divergent issues.
No.
You have here. You'll never grow.
True.
You'll be barely surviving.
Yes.
But when you discover your purpose and obey, let me tell you, all your gifts, even if you have 10 gifts,
Yes.
they all serve one purpose like this, and you never struggle. So I hope I've given some few tips.
Yes.
There are many others. Actually, we have a whole inventory doing the purpose coaching.
Yes.
And people are amazed. They are so fundamental, basic things, but people have ignored them because nobody tells you. So you go to school to get a job. From a job, you get a family. You build a house.
Yes.
Life is like a transactional mechanical staircase.
Get 2 children and a dog.
Exactly. And a dog, a pet.
And
That's
a leafy suburb.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's it. By the time you're hitting 60, you start feeling empty. I have all this, so what? I have taught people who are literally billionaires. I have a privilege right now. I serve in quite a number of positions, and I interact with these people. I've interacted with multinational billionaires who are not just in Kenya. Somebody has companies in 20 countries. And I can tell you some of them are struggling in terms of getting fulfillment. These are people who can afford anything you think about in life. But inside them, there's a void still calling them. I'm still not fulfilled.
Whoa, all right. So I don't even know where to go from here. Yeah, I know. Let's go for a break. When we come back, Gabriel has prepared something for us this year, actually this month. So please stay tuned. I tell you, I hope you have a notebook and you've been noting everything that Gabriel has been telling us, because it's gold. Actually, personally, I've been really enlightened with whatever we have said. But I wish, Gabriel, there's a place that we can meet you live, maybe have a conversation with you, and maybe have more, because here on the screen, it's not enough. Time is limited.
I know.
Is there such a place?
Definitely yes. I'm called for the market, and therefore it's not for myself.
Yes.
And I am out there. You have not met me in the street. I don't know which street you've been. So I'm in the street out there.
Yes.
Hellen, what we did in 2022.
Yes.
We started a movement. So we initiated an initiative which is very unique. We call it PurposeFest. Now, I talked about purpose coaching, which we still do even today, and I have a team of people that we do purpose-led coaching.
Yes.
But so that we have a way in which we sensitize people more about purpose, we set aside the month of October. Every year, you can diarize it for the next, leave around Vision 2030 and to Vision 2050. Diarize it for the next eternity, as long as God allows us to live. Every October is PurposeFest. Now, what is PurposeFest? A fest is more of a festival. So that we reach to as many people as possible. We've dedicated the entire month of October to empower people, to sensitize a lot of speaking engagements in many platforms in the month of October. We call it the International Month of Redemptive Purpose.
Wow.
At least now we have a month, not even a day,
Yes.
a month, a whole month. And even my schedule, I can tell you, I have turned away so many assignments that are not related to the PurposeFest. I said, no, I'm not available in October. Why? We'll be very much available for everybody. We are going to have as many, media briefings. We're going to have a lot of conversation in webinars, in Zooms. You just follow our channels. You're going to see this. And actually, every Friday during the month of October, there's a fireside chat like this.
Yes.
Where we are talking conversation every Friday. Wow. Every Friday of October for free, and you'll be streaming it live, and you can be able to follow us through. You can bring all your Q&As there, and you can address it. But then, attached to that, in 2022, is when we launched the PurposeFest. We started celebrating through a physical gathering, because we are human beings, we are social beings. We need to meet together. Like the way we are here, and we can have these fireside chats and all that. So, the last Friday of every October, we usually hold either a 1 day or a 2 day festive event, a whole day, where we invite global international speakers to come and talk to us about purpose-led living. Now, 2022, we launched, very successful. We had over 20 plus companies, different delegates from different companies. 20 plus, I think there are 23 companies who participated last year.
Wow.
And we had an amazing session where people were sharing about their experiences, a Q&A plenary session, and it was very successful. We did more than 7 corporate speaking engagements during the month of October in 2022. And it was our first ever PurposeFest. And in the same month, we awarded people who are purpose-led. And we have two categories. We create something we call Purpose for Impact Annual Awards. Two broad categories. Purpose-led leadership. Those are leaders themselves who are leading from a point of purpose. And number two, purpose-first organizations. Organizations that prioritize purpose before profit or before product. Many companies, Hellen, especially those who are business people,
Yes.
they prioritize the product. That's why you find somebody, he want to push a product to you. Sell, sell, sell. Because you've come from China with nice smartphones. You want to clear stock.
Yes.
That's not purpose. Clearing stock. Because you don't care about the value you're giving to the person. You care about, give me the money, go with the phone. As to whether the phone serves you, I don't care. Apparently, that's how most businesses are being done.
Yes.
It's about a transaction. Now, we have now an award where we celebrate people, first of all, through purpose-led leaders, but also organizations and businesses, or even not-for-profit, that are demonstrating purpose-first experiences. So that one happens every month of October. Now, last year it was a very successful event.
Hey, I remember.
And you can always watch
Yes.
the clip. It's available. The live coverage is available in
Yes,
our
on YouTube. Yes.
You can go and watch it. It's amazing. Speakers were able to speak about their life. But then, of course, we didn't stop there. So we are continuing that journey every year. And in 2023, it's going to be greater, better, bigger,
Yes.
and amazing.
Awesome.
Which we are going to talk about in a few.
Please tell us right now about it. Where is it? Who
Right.
is the guest invited?
Right,
But
right.
before you tell us
Yes.
about what you're preparing, tell us who you invited last event.
Yes.
And what was your key highlight?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, amazing. I think there are many people, I may not mention all of them.
Yes.
But we had CEOs from different organizations
Oh, yeah.
who attended there. We had Optiven represented, we had Annual represented, we had Cooperative Bank, we had Cybercorp, we have Stanbic Bank. They participated amazingly. They said employees in that workshop, and it was quite amazing. But of course, beside that, we had personalities. Hellen, I'm sure you are there. I saw you. I think I saw you.
You did see me.
Hellen was there.
In flesh.
We had amazing people, ministers of the Word of God, and we had the awardees themselves who actually were able to be appreciated during the event. Quite an amazing.
Yes.
And we are hoping this year, and we have lined up for you amazing leaders. In fact, you can't wait for us to start, off-roading them to you.
Yes.
In a segmented series.
Yes.
Now, something that was so striking is that last year, we did it as an evening gala. It was a short time, like 5 hours. Now this year, we are starting very early bird, morning. Oof. A whole day until, we call it machweo
Yes.
in Swahili. Yes, evening. So it starts from morning, in fact, it was supposed to be 2 days. We just say, let's go slow a bit.
Yes.
But now we have a full day. When? 27th of October. We have a whole day global purpose leadership summit. Plenary speakers, 7 of them will be speaking. Some of them we are still confirming attendance,
Yes.
but you already have those who have confirmed,
Yes.
and you can't wait to know what we are having.
I can.
And then we're also going to award people in the same day. Yes. Now for 2023 editions, nominations are happening. Kindly, if you were viewing this before the D-Day, kindly go to our platforms. Get to nominate your favorite purpose-led leader.
Yes.
Get to nominate your purpose-first organization so that we can appreciate and acknowledge them. The event will be held at Safari Park.
Oh, wow.
A whole day amazing event.
Yes.
So we are going to celebrate the PurposeFest there. It will be a climax. But before that day, I told you the whole month is dedicated for purpose conversations. We are open to be invited in your organization. So if you're working in a company where you may want us to come and speak about purpose-led leadership, we have amazing topics about purpose. We are available. Kindly reach out to us. You can DM us in any of our channels. We are going to share some contacts in this channel as well. You can book us. Of course, I know we have so much of events to do, but just book us. In case we still don't do it within the month of October, we'll be sure. Just to make sure at least we slot in another schedule.
Yes.
Even if it's after the month of
Definitely we'll get
Yes,
back to you.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, Gabriel, I don't want you to preempt the leaders. Do you feel like, the guests who are coming, do you feel like you want to tell us or we wait?
I will grip especially our keynote speaker.
All right.
An amazing gentleman, an amazing global speaker that I have followed myself. I have picked a lot of wisdom from him. I am a student and I love, and I will be a student for life. there's a global speaker called Rabbi Daniel Lapin. For those who read books,
Yes.
and especially books about, economics, wealth, money, that guy is an authority.
Wow.
He has written authoritative books. He has a book called Thou Shalt Prosper. You have another book called 10 Business Secrets from the Bible. Amazing. It's actually a bestseller in New York. Bestseller in New York. He's an American Jew. He downloads Jews' wisdom. Do you know Jews control significant portion of the world globally?
I hear
Why are
so.
they successful? I have learned some of the Jews. In fact, I have in my coaching, when I coach business people, I have a module I talk about Jewish principles, and there are 10 of them. And I have learned actually a lot from even Rabbi himself, because he's a Jew. He understands the Jewish culture, the Israel. He understands some of the principles actually. You can follow, anybody can follow them to be successful in life. He'll be our keynote speaker. He'll be gracing our event. He'll be flying back to Kenya, and it's amazing. You don't want to miss this.
Wow.
This is a person who you cannot just get in a hurry in
No.
terms of, getting to interact with them.
Yes.
He will be in Kenya live,
Yes.
not virtually. He's
Yes.
coming to Kenya. But then we also have some other guests from South Africa. I won't disclose the name. We have another guest from Nigeria.
Eish.
And then our own Kenyan here. We have amazing, more than 5 guest speakers. Some of them are former CEOs in some big companies here. We are going to disclose them. Check our channel and our website, purposeverse.co.ke. We are going to upload all the guest speakers there. And make sure you go and get tickets. The tickets are available on the website.
That's where I was getting at.
Yes.
Do we need to pay to come in?
Yes, we have 2 forms of attendance. You
Yes.
can attend the event virtual. It's going to be virtual
Okay.
for those who may not be able to travel, but we encourage people to come physically. When you
Yes.
interact with people, it's different from just virtual. However, you appreciate that there are people who may not be able to travel.
Yes.
So there's a virtual option. So we are going to stream it virtually, not to everybody. Only to people who will subscribe.
Of course.
So it's quite very affordable. Just for those who are listening to me, maybe who use dollar as the currency, it's $150. And then that's for the in-person. That will take care for you from breakfast
Yes.
up to evening.
Awesome.
The whole day.
Yes.
So you can indulge and interact with all the speakers the whole day.
I think that's quite something.
Yes, and for those who are, planning to attend virtually, meaning they are not able to come physically, we are only charging $70.
Wow.
Just that. So if you do that, you're able to attend. The tickets are available on Purpose Verse. Purpose, then Verse is VERS. You're going to put the link
We're
here.
going to pin
You'll be
it.
able to see
Yes.
that. Click on the link, get the ticket light, and you're going to get all the informations for the event. So the theme for the year is modeling purpose-first experiences and redemptive impact. That's what we'll be talking about. And there'll be people from different spheres. There'll be somebody talking about governance,
Yes.
purpose-led governance.
Yes.
Somebody talking about purpose-led business, how to model a purpose-led business. Can you run a purpose as a venture and it's become profitable and sustaining? People talking about youth and purpose. In fact, the speaker from Nigeria is talking about youth and purpose. How can you as a youth, a young person, discover your purpose as early as possible? I want to encourage organization. There's a whole topic around purpose-led leadership. You want your managers to be purpose-led managers, purpose-led leaders. When you are managed by a manager who is purpose-led, who doesn't want to work for just kind of an organization? In fact, you'll attract people more. They are going to improve productivity, engagement, and employee experience.
It's true.
And who doesn't want to work with such kind of a company? So
Everybody
I want to
wants.
encourage organizations. This is a leadership summit. Sponsor your managers and employees to attend this global purpose-led leadership summit. They are going to be transforming their mind. They are going to be purpose agents in your organizations. And if you want to help employees to be able to look out to waking up every day to come and serve their purpose, make sure you invest with your managers
Yes.
to also become purpose-led. Because you can't give what you don't have.
It is true.
In fact, the managers can end up becoming the killers of the dream killers
It's
of
true.
employees' purpose.
It's true.
So this is the event for you. It's an experience by itself you don't want to miss.
Thank you so much, Gabrielle. We have really enjoyed the time. I tell you, I didn't want it to end. But before even we end it, now we need to know fun facts about you. What are those things that people don't know you, they don't know about you? Tell us, say like 3 of them.
Wow, first is I was an introvert. And probably I'm still an introvert. I'm not so sure. You tell me.
From where we
Hellen.
sit? No way.
Hellen, I struggled to come in front of people.
Oh.
What you don't know is that I'm a data scientist, I'm a mathematician by profession. I'm a computer programmer as well. So I love numbers. I will sit on the laptop, crunch numbers, and that's what I studied, and I excelled. I excelled in that space.
Yes.
My degree, and even my master's is in data science. So I'm purely a number person. Now, telling me to go and start coaching people is completely going to the other world. It's heaven and earth.
Yes.
Completely do different.
How did you?
So I struggled in the beginning. That's why I tell people, purpose is not what you love. Let me tell you, Helen, I love mathematics.
Yes.
And even today, I cannot end a day without sitting on my laptop and crunch some numbers. I love AI, artificial intelligence. I crunch those codes literally.
Yes.
I love them. But that's not my purpose.
Whoa.
It's not my purpose.
Yes.
So what people will see is me, being spirited in terms of advancing purpose. But now that I left purpose, after obeying, it didn't come fast. It's after obeying, I started loving. Now today, I don't struggle speaking in media. I'm invited in media stations, conferences. I've spoken in international summits all over the world.
All right.
I no longer struggle.
2.
I didn't start there.
Number 2.
Now, maybe around now, my family.
Yes.
Something that when I got married, and my wife has been very supportive, and I have to appreciate my wife, Monica. She has been one of the key pillars behind the scene. She started encouraging me. In fact, let me tell you, when I was in the introverted world, guess the person who was poking me, even before actually I was very clear about my life, it's my wife, even before we got married.
Wow.
When we were still dating, she used to tell me and call, you are too serious for life, because I used to be a guy who, I just, when I see you, I see a formula. I'm a mathematician. So when I see Hellen, I'm trying to see which formula can explain Hellen.
Yes.
When you start telling me about life, I'm like, you're wasting my time. Can you finish? I want a very summarized version. Eh?
Yes.
My wife was so pissed up with me when you were courting. And she used to be mad with me. Why are you so serious? You should not, you should be too serious. You are not serious. You should not be too serious for life. You're too serious for life. And I could not see exactly what you were seeing. It was a bright spot that I was not seeing. So actually she was used of God to start at me, what is she saying with me? Me, I'm thinking I'm okay, but she's poking.
Yes.
And yet we have not yet got married. Because we courted for quite many years. Approximately around 5 years.
Yes.
We were still good friends.
Ooh.
Now, those 5 years, she was being used also of God, poke holes. But I could not understand exactly what he's doing.
Yes.
Later on, I sense, I needed to break out. Hidden in me was a potential to inspire people, to transform them. But I was hiding it in form of, I'm a mathematician. I want just to do my own things behind the corner.
Number 3.
Wow, there are many things, Hellen. So I don't think I can explain.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Number 3.
But now, something recently my son told me is, my son keep telling me, and my son is 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm struggling now because he has put me to a fix. My son has told me he wants to become a purpose coach. A 5-year-old.
Why?
So I'm there. My parents, we are together. And I'm trying to raise. I have a firstborn. This is a secondborn who is 5 years, and he told me he wants to be a purpose coach. And apparently all my children, including my youngest, who is just hardly 3 years, they know purpose coach. They talk about purpose coach, even when they don't understand. Because I want to feed them such that by the time they're becoming teenager, I want them to know their purpose. I want them to start dominating their spaces when they are very young. Now I have a challenge. This is very personal. I think I've not spoken it more. That my son wants to become a purpose coach. Now I have some work to do. Because maybe she's called for something else.
Yes.
But now he has declared and confessed, I want to become a purpose coach.
Ooh, okay.
So I am on a mission.
Book that you're reading, Karen.
Now, a book I'm reading?
Yes.
I'm still reading the 10 Business Secrets, which is by Daniel Rapin, who is coming as a guest speaker. Because, of course, and even my wife is also studying the same book, apparently. But it's because we want to, when we are hosting them, also we understand all the writings they have done. And because there's a lot of wisdom, we want to arrange questions for him.
All right.
It's a book. So we are studying that. But every month that has 31 days, I usually run a Bible challenge called 31 Days of Wisdom. Every 31 months, that means January, March, which are the 31 days, May, sometimes July and August, and then October.
Yes.
Every month that has 31 days, we usually do 31 days of wisdom from the Bible, and we study the book of Proverbs. Proverbs have 31 chapters.
Yes.
We study a chapter a day. Sometimes we also study a Bible character, and sometimes we study the book of Psalms, where we study 5. If you study 5 Psalms every day, it will take you 31 days to study the entire book of Psalms. So when you ask me what I'm reading in every 31 days of a month,
yes,
other than the one that has 30 days, mostly I'm studying the book of Proverbs. It's like my favorite books.
Wow.
I was studying Jesus' parable.
Yes.
We also do a lot of parables in the month that has 31 days. And then the Bible characters, and of course the book of Psalms.
All right. When I grow up, I want to be a Papa's coach also.
And you are.
Thank you so much for having a sit with us. We have really enjoyed, and we look forward to that event. If you're watching this after the event, I know next year you will catch it, because you have said every October, dialize it. We will always be having a festival that is around Purpose rather.
Exactly.
Right?
Helen, I forgot something.
Yes, please.
12th of October.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yes.
This year we may not have a lot of celebration. 12th of October is actually the International Day of Redemptive Purpose.
Oh, wow.
You brother like 12th of October every year. Only that, we've not yet popularized that day. Slowly, we first of all are focusing on the entire month.
Yes.
And then the climax.
Yes.
But watch out in the subsequent years. We are going to make it literally an international day. And we are spending this. If you're working in UN, we need you. We need to make sure we declare even this under UN days, so that it is a global days. Why are we celebrating things like diseases, cancer, What about celebrating when you are born? Why you are born?
Exactly.
So we want to celebrate the good stuff.
Yes.
Like the purpose, the redemptive purpose.
Hallelujah. I can't wait. We need you people in the UN. Anyway, thank you so much, Gabriel.
Thank you.
Let's do this another time, right?
Definitely.
And we are looking forward to the conversations by the fireplace, so that we can learn more. I can see my video person already came with the bebe. Maize.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, they want to actually roast them. I think you're starting the conversations today.
Yes. We might have to start something.
They are so ready. Yes, they are so ready to actually have a snack when they're doing that. So
I did
please.
Hellen love roasted maize.
I do. I really.
And I can see them here. In fact, if you think we are kidding, it's green.
We are not.
Fresh green maize.
Exactly.
Yes.
We are waiting. So these will be our snacks, by the fire, as we listen to these amazing conversations. Shika bebe yako. We start peeling it so that we can, the fire is here.
Awesome.
And thank you so much to Thayo Farm Hotel for hosting us, for hosting this conversation. May God bless you for giving us your amazing facility so that we can do and have this conversation. Did you enjoy the tea?
It was fantastic. Thayo, guys, this is the real Thayo Farm. It's like the Garden of Eden. Let me tell you, the milk. I almost wondered whether there's some fat added. It was so heavy. The gravitas of the milk, quite heavy. The tea itself, I love tea and I love cork. Today I was taking tea somewhere and told guys, no. This is so dilute. It looks like a marathon.
Yes.
This one at Thayo, amazing.
Amazing.
It was so cork and I loved it.
Yes.
And also we did chicken.
Kienyeji chicken. Amazing. They are good at
I want to be camping here.
Karibu sana. Thayo is in Tigoni, just opposite Limuru Country Club. So come and visit them sometime. You will enjoy. Even these maids, they are from Thayo Farm Hotel. They actually grow everything here. Everything they put on your plate is from their farm. So karibu sana. Anyway, let's end it there.
Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless you, and enjoy your time, and may God help you find your redemptive.
And hashtag for the whole month.
Yes.
Purpose for impact. I am redemptive.
Kabisa.
Thank you. See you then.
Ooh.